Guys, Mark Goldberg here from Mark Vlogs Watches with a quick word for your friend and mine, ArchieLuxury, Paul Pluta, AC3, Archibald Chesterfield III. You know, he invented the quick wristwatch check, and the rest of us on YouTube, well, we just stole it. Help keep Archie full-time on YouTube by liking this video, watching this video, tell your fuckhead friends, and make sure to subscribe to his Patreon. And now, ArchieLuxury.
Hi guys, ArchieLuxury on the Paul Pluta channel. Today guys, doing paid review. This is paid review 9OC12. Quick wristwatch check. 5127G, the white gold ultimate dress watch. This is for Rob Pontiff. I'm a recently acquainted fan and love the channel. I'm a retired old fart with a modest vintage classics collection. I've got a 1941 Jaeger-LeCoultre military style new old stock, 1957 plain and simple steel Jaeger-LeCoultre manual, a early 1960s E855 Jaeger-LeCoultre Memovox, an early 60s Universal Geneve Power Router black dial steel bracelet. Resident shitter is a Tag Heuer 2000 series classic dive. I like it. It's mint and cost me less than £200 at a pawn shop. Makes me laugh when I see a brand new 2000 ETA movement for £23 on eBay. A set of seals cost me more. 2300 I think he means. Anyhow, as you can see, I need to get a Rolex. There's only one Rolex for me though, and that's an early 90s Explorer 14270. I have to have case holes and earlier style bracelet. I'm also thinking it has to have a T25 dial, but now I'm not so sure. Question: is tritium a must for an early 90s 14270, or is Luminova acceptable too? The T25 aging process seems to be much of a lottery. Some stay evenly colored and look fabulous, others go different colors and look crap. Well, at least to my eye, presumably nicely aged T25s go for a premium and sell quick. The Radiant wanks on about his 14270 like it a complete tosser, but I notice his copy doesn't have case holes nor a T25 dial. Have I just answered my own question? Best regards, Rob. PayPal donation sent. Well, thank you, Rob. And it's nice to see you. You built a nice little collection of Jaeger-LeCoultres. You've got a shitter in a Tag Heuer, and you want to add Rolex. I cannot criticize that decision at all. I cannot criticize that at all. And it's a very interesting thing. This is a situation where you've got Rolex, have got Luminova or Tritium. So basically, what is the situation? Well, what happens is that with these Rolexes, they decided to want to have Lum. They want to glow in the dark. How did you do this? Well, the original way was tritium. It's a radioactive substance which, when it's exposed to light and then it's put in dark, it glows. It glows. Now, the problem is with tritium, it eventually goes less and less and less. So tritium itself does not last as long as Luminova. Luminova was a wonder way. Came out late 90s, early 2000s, and the whole industry went to Luminova. The advantage of Luminova is it doesn't diminish as the years go on. Purists and collectors actually prefer tritium. They always want what they can't have. And it's quite funny because I remember when Luminova came out. I used to be on some of the Rolex forums. I was a member of New Turfers, and everybody wanted Luminova. They were criticizing tritium. Luminova was so wonderful. They'd all brag about, everyone in these Rolex forums, they brag about how it glows like a Christmas tree. I never really cared. Lum was never a big issue for me. But now the pendulum has swung the other way. They all now remember tritium and say it was such a collectible thing. Everybody wants what they can't have. So you've got a situation where you've got some Rolexes which have tritium dials, and you've got some Rolexes that have Luminova dials. What is better? What is best? That, my friend, is the question, the $1 million question.
Oh. Hey Archie Luxury fans, if you're into luxury, then you gotta be into 66 Buick Rivieras. Check out my son and I, Alex, as we restore this beautiful 66 Buick.
Neighbors are having a picnic, you know, having fun and stuff. Me, I'm doing cars. It's what I've done my whole life.
So let's have a talk about this Luminova and tritium. So basically, tritium has some radioactive properties. Tritium itself there was invented in the early 1908 it came out, and basically it's in a paint which it's the lume. They can paint it on hands or onto the dial. Now Rolex has used lume for quite a long time. They've used it, and hello. Lume. So lume, Rolex started using lume, and basically they use tritium. That's right. And they used this until they went to Luminova, 1998. Luminova. And then 2000 they went to Super Luminova. Now, the thing is this, if you've got a tritium dial, it'll have a T/25 usually. It'll have T, Swiss T. That's for tritium. If you have a Luminova or a Super Luminova, it'll say Swiss or Swiss made with no T. Now, the tricky part is that if you date your watch, it'll tell you on those cut-off points whether what dial is correct or not. So if you've got a pre-1998, it should be a tritium dial. Post-1998, it should be Swiss or Swiss made. Now, what makes it tricky is that if we look at this time period, Rolex decided to go for the no holes case. They started to remove the holes. Basically, they changed the type of little clip underneath so that they just finished it off a little bit nicer. So it depends on the model of sports Rolex, but they basically changed these in the early 2000s. So the question is, with this lume itself there, the other confusing thing is that sometimes you might have an early 90s piece, 91, 92, 93, and it has a Swiss dial, because what could happen is sometimes someone has changed the dial. You could send it off, the dial wasn't perfect, and Rolex can replace it. Now, this is not a killer, it's not a deal breaker, it's not a hunger buster. However, some collectors, if you've got a watch which was, say, a 1991 watch, they would want it to have tritium. The other anomaly is that you've also got a mix-up of tritium dial with Luminova hands. Now, the purist and the collector would say we want tritium dial with tritium hands. However, if you send it to Rolex, the dial is still in really nice condition. They won't replace the dial, but they'll often replace the hands. Now, as far as collectability goes, you ideally would keep tritium dial with tritium hands. If you've changed the hands, it doesn't kill, well, it can affect the value. So the basic rules are, what are the rules? Well, Lum or tritium, what is better? Well, I think the Luminova definitely is a much brighter glow and it lasts longer. The negative is that a lot of collectors like the tritium, because the tritium also seems to age. It gets a patina to the color. Starts off white and it turns a yellowy color. So it really depends on yourself. So to answer your question there, is tritium a must for an early 90s Explorer 1, or is Luminova acceptable? Well, it would have been originally tritium, because they didn't go to Luminova until 1998. So that would tell you that the dial has been swapped. Is that a disaster? Well, yes and no. Depends on how much of a purist you are. So it's certainly, I don't think it's the end of the world. So as far as the T25 aging process seems to be a lottery. Some stay evenly colored, others go differing colors and look, well, this is the whole thing. The thing that does age them is exposure to sunlight. So if a tritium dial watch has been stored in a dark safe for years and years and years, often it doesn't grow the patina. So it's a very interesting situation as well. Tritium dial with tritium hands generally is more collectible than the non-tritium ones. Yes, it is. I prefer to have the correct hands and dial for the correct time period piece. That's my preference. But hey, you got to decide which works for you. It's not the end of the world. So yeah, that's the way it works with tritium. So tritium, 1998 they moved to Luminova. Tritium dials have the T or the T/25. Luminova came out 1998 in Rolex. 2000 they went to Super Luminova, and you'll see a Swiss or Swiss made on the dial. What is the best? What is the greatest? Well, I don't think it really matters. I think Rolex is Rolex. Some of them have been changed in service, etc., etc. I don't think it's the end of the world. But obviously, a tritium dial with tritium hands is going to pull more, be more collectible than one that's a mix match. I'm Paul Pluta. I hope this video has helped. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends. That's a good idea. Tell your friends. And don't be afraid to put some comments down below. I like a few comments. Put some comments below. And guys, paid reviews keep me full-time on YouTubes. I depend. I'm trying to find. I've actually got, what am I searching for here? Like a frantic zombie. What I'm looking for, guys, I've actually got a special little, where the fuck is it? You know how you can't find, there it is. I've got a special, this is a loop which has a light in it. Let me show you. I got this from Vintage Watch Co. And what this light does is, it's very cool. It lets you tell Lum or tritium. You can tell by how it glows. So if I show you, this is a loop, you can check out. Everyone should have a loop. And it's got a little torch here on it. At least I think it does. How does this fucking thing work? See the torch? And it would glow. See, this would, depending on how it glows. Now, this watch here, it doesn't have the glow because there's no lume on this one. There's no lume. Love you long time. No lume. Lume. Whereas we have a look at this one here. See, it does have lumed hands. See, I show you the loom. See, it's a loom light. See, you see the loom? Loom, no loom. I take you loom long time. Loom, 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 loom. See the loom? So that's a special. These are a really cool loop, which has that torch in there, and you can see the loom. Okay guys, until next time, ciao fuckers. If you haven't done a paid review, remember paid reviews keep me full-time on YouTube. Without your support, I would not be here. I need your help. If you haven't done a paid review, think about getting one done. David SW. David SW. David SW. Who does ArchieLuxury recommend is the greatest grey market dealer in America? There's only one choice, David SW. That's right, guys. I've got to tell you the honest truth. I have, for a long time, been looking for the perfect answer. Who do I recommend people go to see? Who do I recommend that people can go and buy watches? And I've got to be honest with you. The greatest pre-owned dealer for Rolex, Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet is David SW. David SW. David SW. DavidSW.com. That's right, guys. I have been looking for a contact who I can very nicely refer people to. I am not in the selling business. Customer service, I'm too old to sell watches. I'm too old. I like to recommend my viewers to a reliable source. In Australia, I've got some great sources. There's Sydney Watch Exchange with Cove, Ronnie at Vintage Watch Co, Shani at European Watch Gallery. And in America, who is the best source for pre-owned Rolex? For all the hot models? There's only one person I would recommend, David SW. David SW, David SW. That is the premier source for pre-owned Rolex. I gotta be completely frank and honest with you. Guys, if you are looking for a hot Rolex model, there is only one place you can go to. David SW. David SW, David SW. Let's be honest, guys, there's no point schmoozing the dealers, the ADs. They're just a waste of time. Unless you're going to buy 20 pieces, you are wasting your time. What you're better off to do is pay the market premium and go to a good pre-owned dealer. Who do I recommend? David SW. David SW. David SW. That's correct, guys. I want to tell you this now. I 100% stand behind David SW. David SW, the greatest pre-owned dealer in the entire United States of America. That's right, the greatest pre-owned dealer for Rolex, for Patek Philippe, for Audemars Piguet, David SW. He even does things like FP Journe. David SW, David SW, David SW. That's right. If you want to buy a pre-owned Rolex, a Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, there's only one good source I would recommend. David SW, David SW, David SW. I'm Paul Pluta, the method actor who plays Archibald Chesterfield III, and I'm proud to recommend David SW. See you later. Thank you for watching this channel.